Okay. Now this one I downloaded from somewhere. I don't even remember. Well, it was probably from the Tone Cloud, but Ambience 2. It's definitely probably still there. Now, some things that I do, I guess it depends on, your riff, so you can kind of leave things alone, and then when you get the ideas or when you're jamming, you can tweak around. I would say tweaking is definitely do it in here, because you never know. You could be like, you can make this crazy tone, and it could inspire you to write a whole song. And again, you can't break these things. Just recall the preset again, So we got drums, guitar, rhythm guitar, clean guitar, bass. We got synth. I'll label this synth right away. Okay, so for the most part, that's how I would go about starting my own, template. So I think we have all the essentials for our template. I guess depending on what you're doing. But it has all the basic things that you need to just start writing. If you recall this, then you can get going. Then you would have to kind of mix it to cater to, whatever you're doing. There's a few things that I always put on my sessions. One of them being the master bus EQ that Nolly talks about in a lot of things, a lot of mixed tutorials that you've probably seen from him. So what I'll do is I'll come in here, I use the FabFilter as well, but you can do this with any EQ, I just have the preset. I made one, like I put the time in and did the tedious work and saved it, so like I can just bam. I think that's the key, is trying to be as efficient as you can, So the next thing that I would probably add is get good drums, smash and grab, kick, snare, racks, floors, overhead, room close, room far. Now you're probably thinking there's a lot of plugins like of the same thing going on. What I usually do is I will have all these off, except for, of course, like bias and stuff, the things that I need. I will have these turned off to save resources and, just get everything sounding as best as I can before I turn all these on. Like, the levels have to be good before you start messing with things, And so I'll have all these turned off, and then I literally just put them in there because I know I'm gonna put them in there anyway. Another thing that I'll probably put on all these is EQs. So I'll do the FabFilter Pro Q too. And it depends, if you want to do it before or after GTD. I like to do it before, just so I can kind of shape the sound. And that's one thing that I learned from Nolly from his masterclass session that he has on the Get Good YouTube. So now that I have EQ and compression on almost every drum, or every channel of the drums, I want to make a bus for all of the drums. My right click is not working for some reason. It could be my screen capture software. So if you come up to track, add bus for selected tracks, it would automatically make you a drum bus, or a bus for whatever. So I'll name this drum bus. And as you can see, it shows drum bus throughout the whole thing. If you don't have one that says it, and you want it to be in there, make sure that says drum bus. So I will change this color. Now, a few things that I'll add. One thing that I'll add to the drums is the SSL compressor. And I actually got this from Jordan Valerian of the Mix Vault. I joined the Mix Vault and it unlocked so many things for me, and there was so many different ways to like get amazing results, and I can't thank Jordan enough for, putting his knowledge out there, and I guess in a way this is me kind of paying it forward. But one thing that he did that I really like the sound of is throwing this SSL compressor and then putting it on the punch setting. Alright, I think we're good on the plugins for now at least. Okay, next thing I want to add is a bus for the guitars, the rhythm guitars, just because I know that I'm going to want to adjust them at the same rate. And so I will come in and add bus for selected channels again under rhythm guitar bus. And you can see that it changed rhythm guitar bus. We're going to change this color, change it to that just because it's a little brighter. Okay, so now we have everything that we need to start writing essentially. Okay, so now that the template is pretty much set up, what I have here is kind of like, I don't know if you ever see it on the cooking channels, but they show you how to make like the dish, and then out of the oven they're like, I already have one made. Well, this is kind of what happened here. And so it may look a tiny bit different, but it's pretty much the same thing. As you can see, I may have added a few more plugins here and there just to kind of get a tighter sound. But you can see here, like on the master bus, it's pretty much the same thing as the Nolly thing. I kind of just adjusted a few things here. Still got this, but I also have a limiter just to make it a little bit louder. Now, if you keep this limiter on while you're recording, then you're definitely going to feel it. What I would recommend doing is turning everything off that you're not really using, like the Get Good Drum smash and grab stuff, the EQs, the bus compression and all that. Turn all that stuff off if you're recording and writing, because then it'll bog you down, and you don't want that. So I have it pretty much mixed a decent amount here. We could take a listen. Now everything you're hearing is pretty much what we talked about already. I'm using the Retina Band Bigs for distortion with the little tweaks that I said. I'm also using I'm using the same exact Retina Bigs, but I have adjusted the gain just for this little guy here. I couldn't tell you how I thought about like putting that in there, but I think I was probably just jamming and like trying to think of something to do, and I was like, oh, that's awesome, and so I threw it in there. And then for the cleans, I think it's the exact same thing that I told you when and I just did some adjusting, as you can see here, just to kind of cater to what I'm trying to portray on this song in particular. For my synth, it says massive here, but I'm actually using Mai Tai still. I found a really cool pad, and I adjusted just here and there on little things. And this is literally just to help the mix sound a little bit more cohesive. Like for me, I like it when recording sounds like you're somewhere else. Just because of the synths and maybe the reverb in the room and stuff like that. Like when you throw headphones on, you're submerged into it. And so that's kind of what I try to capture with all my songs. I want to take you somewhere else. But yeah, this is pretty much everything. This is actually a groove that I made, a song that I made with the Get Good Drums Rock MIDI Groove Pack. You can see here, GGD Rock Groove Pack. This is song 11, and I'm actually on 125 and everything like that. And I kind of just went through and found some cool grooves, and this is actually something that I'm going to be talking about later as well. This is kind of why I wanted to set this up, so if you wanted to follow along, then you could. But lately, drum grooves have been helping me get out of my rut with songwriting, which is, thank goodness for grooves, because even if you're in a rut and you hear a cool groove and you throw it in there and you just jam to it, you're gonna find something. I think the key is to not be so judgmental of your parts. I'm definitely guilty of that, and that's something that I'm trying to get over. I'm in the process of getting over. I think just judgment in general. So you may be seeing a lot more of me, but I mean, for the most part, that's everything that I'll do. I'll set this session up, and then I'll start writing, or I'll go take a break just to kind of get out of my brain for a little bit. Then I'll come back. For some reason, I also have to have like a clean room. So I'll clean my room, and I'll get this set up, and then I'll find some cool grooves online. I have acquired some grooves just from different plugins and programs and stuff like that, but I want to get all of the Get Good Drum ones because my goal is to kind of steer towards like the metal genre and more technical stuff, you know? And so I've been practicing a lot, been practicing a ton. But anyways, this is how I set up my templates for writing songs. And again, it may change later, so maybe I'll do another one next year or something. But I hope that this helps you with any sort of hurdle or anything that's stopping you from making music and getting better at making music. I think that's a thing that we probably all struggle with, is the technical aspect to just getting down to writing music, you know, and that could be gear and just different things. And it's not about the gear. It's not about the gear. I'm realizing, like, it's about putting in the time to get good at your instrument and your craft, essentially. You know, if this is something that you want to sound good, then you got to put in the time to, you know, learn about low end and learn about compression and learn about EQing and stuff. I feel like that's very important to be a self-sufficient artist, you know. But that's what I'm here to try and help you do. You know, when I'm learning stuff, I'll teach you stuff. I promise. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. This was a long video, but I definitely don't plan on stopping with making videos. I have some really cool ideas. There's this one that I actually am really excited for. I've been having tons of breakthroughs with it, and it's this amazing app that helps you practice and learn songs faster. And so that one it's blowing my mind. But again, thank you for your time. Thank you for trusting me with your journey. If you have any questions at all, please hit me up. I'd love to talk to you. Speaking of, so many new subscribers. Thank you so much again for just trusting me with your journey, because there's so many people out there, and the fact that you are allowing me to help you, I am very grateful. Again, hit me up. Talk very soon. Have a great day. Before I leave, save. Make it a habit to save. Save always. Always, always, always. See ya.